obviously expecting things to run fairly smoothly, and it didn't.
It's a family vacation to Colorado that went from one medical emergency to another. How an orthopedic surgery turned into a struggle to save a man's life.
A shooting outside an Aurora shopping center that killed a 13-year-old boy is still unsolved. And now police and his mother are pleading for help.
No mother should feel the way that I have felt the last 3 months.
Police are doing to get more tips in that case.
New court documents detailing what a murder suspect revealed after allegedly chasing and shooting teens that he says were trying to steal his car. New at 5 o'clock, a team of doctors had hope that even after 20 minutes of a heart not beating, that they could bring a man back.
The patient had been airlifted to Denver Health for an orthopedic surgery on the 4th of July. The hospital ended up needing doctors with other trauma specialties, and quickly. Here's
9 News reporter Katie Eastman.
But so many friends.
There was a time when Summer Brainerd wished for silence.
He's a talker, he's has a wonderful sense of humor, he's just a great dad. All around, everybody loves Todd, everybody. He was like, you can do it, you can do it.
Todd has always been the talker of the two, but he hasn't said a word in a couple of days. He can't.
Well, this has probably been the longest amount of time that he hasn't spoken.
Summer's laughter comes after her tears.
And we were going to the Hot Springs Resort, and just to have like a week vacation, family vacation that we don't get to do often.
The Ohio family was about to go horseback riding, but the moment Todd got on his horse, he was thrown off.
My daughter said he flew up in the air and landed on the ground and landed right on his hip.
His pelvis shattered, and to fix it, he was flown to Denver Health, where Dr. Cyril Maffrey,
These are very rare.
the head of the Department of Orthopedics, could do the surgery.
We were obviously expecting things to run fairly smoothly, and it didn't.
But they did it. It was perfect. And then they didn't know what happened. All of a sudden, his heart stopped.
Todd's heart stopped for 20 minutes. The orthopedic surgeon was no longer the expert, but the vascular surgeon got there in seconds.
We never gave up. We kept on pushing, kept on doing what was necessary to bring him back to life, and it was terrifying.
A team of about 15 people got Todd back.
It was just knowing he was going to be okay, or thinking he was going to be okay.
Todd is still silent, but getting better.
If we could get prayers.
Summer will speak up now, hoping the louder voice comes back soon.
I've never wanted to hear him talk more than I do now, so I will never complain about him constantly talking anymore. I just can't wait.
I'm sure Todd will be happy to hear that. He is still at the hospital, and he'll likely have another surgery. Summer said he's able to open his eyes, squeeze her hand, and shake his head yes and no.
Katie, this reminds me that whenever someone says they're going in for minor surgery, you never know, and you certainly count on hospitals and doctors and their staff being there and being ready.
Yeah, and this surgery was not minor in the first place. It's already a dangerous surgery, and adding this into the mix, oh boy, it's amazing.
Quite a story. Thanks,
Yeah.
Katie.
So no rain here. How about that? Pretty dark clouds, though, over Boulder right now. We can't get through this Friday without something. We've got some blue skies over Denver right now, but Kathy.
Damn, don't jinx us.
I know.
Don't say it.
I know. We kind of always have to say, what's next?
There's always something next, right? This time of year, and this year in particular, every day it's something.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, like you mentioned, so good. We'll see. We'll see. I know. A lot of people have outdoor plans this evening, or maybe you just want to have happy hour dinner on the patio. Keep an eye to the sky. Scattered storms are still a potential this evening. We've had some little bit of rain, some rainers coming across the Fort Collins area and up in the Boulder area. Temperatures have been cool. This time of year, we should be close to 90 every day. We've been in the 70s. That's just weird. And with all this moisture available for thunderstorms and winds out of the northeast, all the ingredients are there. It's like popcorn in a pot on the stove. Which one's going to go and where? And that's that's what we're tracking for you tonight. The heavier thunderstorms appear to be in southeastern Colorado. Severe thunderstorm watch out there. Had a couple of severe cells roll through El Paso County. A new thunderstorm warning, 1-inch diameter hail, and now a flash flood warning. That cell down there, if you're headed I-25 past Castle Rock into Colorado Springs, you're going to run into some travel issues there due to flooding concerns in Colorado Springs. To the north, thunder showers are racing through Estes Park, Fort Collins, and Greeley. Not severe. We hope that holds. And so far for the evening drive in Denver, it is dry so far downtown, and we'll be monitoring that. But Storm Prediction Center has us in the outlook and risk area for storms with hail, and the futurecast is showing a couple of storms rolling through between now and about 9 o'clock tonight. So hopefully you'll stay dry if that's what you're wishing for this evening. But storms are likely, along with a cooling temperature trend tonight. And coming up in Maine weather, a major shift in the weather pattern. If you've had it with the hail, the heavy rain, the severe weather, we're going to be looking at a break for multiple days. I'll talk about that in just a bit.
Today, police and family members were asking for the public's help. They're trying to solve the murder of 13-year-old Phoenix Day back in March outside of the Aurora Mall. All the trouble started when two groups of teenagers were exchanging words, but it ended in gunfire.
We're at a point now where we need the public's help. We want to give Phoenix's family some peace by bringing this case to a close and finding who was responsible for Phoenix's murder.
Surveillance video from the town center at Aurora captured images of people in the area. Police are asking that anyone who was there come forward, share what they know, even if it doesn't seem important. His mother was also appealing for help.
I will never understand why this happened to my son, but I do know that we deserve justice. I need to know what happened to my son. So please, if you've seen Phoenix that day at the mall or you know anything about what happened to him or who did this, no details are too small.
There is now a $4,000 reward for information being offered through Crime Stoppers. People who provide information can remain anonymous. The number is 720-913-7867.
An extremely high bond has been set for a man accused of killing 4 people in Aurora on Halloween weekend last year. The judge set a $75 million cash-only bond this afternoon, saying in court that Joseph Castorena is a classic definition of a flight risk who poses a clear and justifiable risk to society. Castorena took off to Mexico after allegedly attacking his ex-girlfriend and killing 4 other people last October. 3 of those victims were related to her. If he does make bail, he will have GPS monitoring, home confinement, and a weekly check-in. The woman accused of beating her 8-year-old grandnephew to death last year will need $200,000 to get out of jail. The bond for Suvan Bathor was set in court this morning. She is charged with the first-degree murder of Demetrius Wilson and child abuse resulting in death. If she makes bail, she would be placed under home confinement and cannot be around kids.
We've learned new details about the shooting of 2 teenagers who were allegedly trying to steal a car in Aurora on Wednesday night. The suspect, Orest Schur, is a technical sergeant working for the U.S. Space Force. Space Force officials say they're aware of his charges. They're doing their own investigation. He's accused of opening fire that night on 2 teens who had driven away from his home after allegedly trying to steal his car. One of those teenagers was killed. The other, a 13-year-old, is in the hospital. Court documents show Schur drove after the pair as his wife called 911 to report the attempted theft. The documents also say he admitted to police he chased after them because he was afraid they would come back and admitted that he'd fired his gun. Documents also show the car the teens were driving away in was also stolen.
In a highly unusual move, a Colorado judge has apologized to a defendant while in court. That defendant is the woman who was hit by a train while in a police car. The train collision happened in September. Police pulled Urena Rios over after a man claimed she had pointed a gun at him. But after police arrested her, they put her in a car parked on train tracks. A train then came along and smashed into the cruiser. Prosecutors charged Rios with felony menacing for the gun allegation, even after she was injured. When Rios pleaded no contest to a lesser misdemeanor last week, the judge apologized for the train collision. Judge Vicente Vigil said, "I'm really sorry for what happened," and called the police behavior that night reckless, negligent, and stupid.
It's extraordinarily rare for a judge to apologize ever. Once in a while, on a dismissal on a case that should never have been filed, the judge might say a few words of apologetic nature, but like this is an unusual situation. And quite frankly, it's the kind of situation that if you wrote about it in a book, no one would believe that the police officer would leave his squad car on a railroad crossing.
The officers who arrested Rios that night face their own criminal charges. A lawsuit she filed against them is still pending.
We turn now to fire in Colorado and the firefighters that have been facing red flag conditions, still making significant progress at several of the wildfires burning in our state right now. Start with the 95-acre Devil's Thumb fire listed as 25% contained. There was no containment on Tuesday. They did get that up to 10% yesterday. That fire burning about 8 miles east of Fraser in Grand County. And then there are 2 fires burning in Archuleta County. Lightning is believed to have started both. Crews say they've contained 46% of the Chris Mountain fire near Pagosa Springs. That 500-acre fire sparked on June 28th. Crews working on the smaller coal mine fire burning down near the New Mexico border say they have 95% of that contained. A different story, though, for the Spring Creek fire. It actually grew by nearly 250 acres since yesterday's report. They still have 37% containment. Crews are saying the green, moist vegetation in the area is drying out quickly and is much more receptive now to burning. The cause of the fire has not yet been determined.
A sinkhole that just keeps growing. Getting bigger and bigger is now a costly mess when the Littleton Road could finally reopen.
And as the rain keeps falling, the West Nile virus risk continues to grow.